And welcome to Hero Power. I'm your
Okay.
host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Zerotio.
Some little things bring me joy, and nothing brings me joy like seeing Avantis make simple mistakes that we have to retake the intro. Oh, so much.
239 episodes in, and I only had to redo the intro 3 times today. So, hey,
That's
we're
at least you
getting
didn't
there.
have to. At least you didn't have to redo the whole show like we did the one time.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I still blame OBS. I hate this app. I hate it. So anyway, on to more relevant topics. This is not the How Much Avantes Hates OBS podcast. This is Hero Power. And,
Yes,
and we have quite a bit to talk about this week. But first, Zerotio, how was your week in Hearthstone?
it was less hectic than the previous week, thankfully, but very busy nonetheless. We My THL matches went off, and I didn't do well in Legacy, which is the standard conquest. And our team fell. We're gonna fall a little short of victory this week, but we got some good points. Um, but in Wild Series, this is my first season, and this is the first official season of Wild Series THL. We are just killing it. We have a bye week this next week, and we can't lose first place even without playing a full week. So we're doing really well. We 5-0'd our opponents, beating them 20 points to 5 with a 3 point bonus. That gives us 23 points this week. So we're way ahead in our conference. So we're pretty much a shoe in for playoffs, and I'm excited for that. And played my Coin Concede Listener Series this morning and won. And I've been playing some ladder. I kind of got a wild itch
Mm-hmm.
to to no pun intended, or maybe a little bit, to play wild and push my rank. I gotten up to just short of Diamond 3, so I was like, I'll just jam some Kingsbane Rogue, see what happens, because it did me well in my series match, and got Legend just real fast.
Nice.
So I'm double Legend again for the fourth month in a row, and I don't really have the itch to push for the 11x. I'm just gonna kind of probably simmer, not play a lot of ladder, and just see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I found last month when I played probably the most Hearthstone I've ever played in a month, and I kind of got burned out at the end, and I don't want that to happen again. So I'm just kind of casually playing ladder. I've been playing a lot of battlegrounds. But yeah, I'm enjoying a lot of Hearthstone right now. Hearthstone is probably in the healthiest spot for me that it's ever been since maybe Lich King. Lich King I played a lot and really, really, really liked that meta.
Okay.
Uh, but since then, I've played it because I enjoyed the game, but I've never really found a meta that I like to play. Now I'm not doing as well. I guess I've been getting Legend every month is something, but I don't feel as if I'm I have as high a win rate consistently in this meta. But that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That just means I'm seeing a lot of odd decks and interesting decks that are hard to play around. And I don't know. I'm just happy with where Hearthstone is, aside from one aspect, which we'll talk about in the news.
Okay. Okay. Well, I actually played quite a bit this week. I mostly played some standard on the ladder, and then I spent quite a bit of time just really enjoying the first topic in the news. We'll get to that in a second, but you and I just got out of a meeting. There's some really exciting things coming down the pipeline. We can't talk about it just yet,
Mm-hmm.
but guys, stay tuned. The next couple of weeks, we've got some exciting news on the podcast front coming down the pipeline that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you. And
and and specifically without getting specific, it's the podcast front in general.
yes, the
So if you
podcast
enjoy
community in
listening
general. Yep.
to Blizzard game podcasts, regardless what Blizzard game it is, there's some big news coming. Just stay tuned here. We'll tell you about it as soon as we get the okay to disseminate that news. But
That's
I'm
right.
excited too.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I actually spent quite a bit of time checking out the new Forbidden Library Week 2 Book of Heroes, focusing on Jaina. Now, if you guys haven't done this yet, I highly recommend you go check out the solo content. It's just 8 fights, but it is so well done. It tells the story of Jaina. You start when she is a student at Scholomance Academy, wanting to learn from her uncle Tony, and you progress through Jaina's story all the way up to current time, and it's just so well done. It tells such a great story. The fights are so much fun in this. I almost played through it a second time just because I enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job telling the narrative, telling the story. This reminds me a lot of the Illidan prologue, how they told Illidan's story, and similar to the Arana story. And I think they did a good job in general. The voiceovers were good. The mechanics for what they offered us was good. You told the story, and unfortunately, you're given a deck each fight, but the decks change, the hero powers change, everything changes, so it kind of doesn't feel stale.
It feels like you're progressing in her power level. Like she starts out as a novice, and as each fight goes on, she becomes more powerful. The decks become more powerful. The hero powers. It's almost like you feel as though you're seeing her become the Jaina we know.
Yeah, the only complaints I have, and this is probably more indicative of just my play style and my desires in solo content, is there wasn't a lot of variability in it. You didn't get to pick any cards that went in your deck or build a deck or anything. You were just given cards and a hero power and just went with it. Also, there was no. I was able to eight and done this. I didn't lose a single fight. There wasn't much challenge.
Well, I lost the last fight. So the last fight took me 2 attempts to clear.
Was hard, and I almost lost it, but I was able to pull it off. And the rewards were a mage pack.
Yes.
So for the amount of challenge it took for rewards, I think is even. But I think I would have liked to see a heroic mode or a more. In the replayability, there isn't much replayability in my opinion because it's going to be exactly the same the second time you play it as it was the first time, other than card draw.
For me personally, I grew up as a role playing person, so for me personally, story is more important than anything else in a video game. Gameplay could be good, gameplay could be great. But for me personally, if you tell a compelling narrative, I will replay that multiple times.
And I think that's my point on it is if you play it a second time, you're not going to get a different part of the story. There isn't a different. It's not like you can pick your own adventure and choose a different path this time, which I would have liked to see something like that. But again, this is free content.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to pay for it, and it was enjoyable. I am worried that we're going to see 9 more of these.
I'm excited to see 9 more of these.
I'd like to see them maybe change it up a little bit. Maybe not every single one be the exact same 8 static bosses. I mean, they could be static bosses, but not static decks or static decks.
Right. You would like something more like the traditional build your deck, and your enemies are 8 picked out of a pool of like 24 or something.
One or the other. I don't have to have both.
Okay.
If it was 8 in a row, because they want to tell a story, but I was able to adjust my deck slightly,
right?
Then that's something. But this isn't bad. And if they did 9 more just like this, I won't complain any more than I'm complaining now.
Right. Yeah. Well, my
And again, I tend to get a little hardcore when it comes to solo content.
yeah.
I want to race through it and try to be one of the first to post a Twitter screenshot in our community that I finished it and have it be challenging. But I just didn't feel up that it needed that this time.
Well, my biggest complaint is how long do I have to wait for the next one?
Well, they said that we're supposed to get them over the next 12 months. So where normally we get solo content one per set cycle, if they're doing this over the next 12 months, we'll get them faster than one per set cycle.
Right. Well, but here's my thing. This year of the Phoenix is over in March or April. This set we move on to the new set in December. Are we going to be continuing to do the Scholomance solo content through all of that, as well as having additional solo content for new expansions drop?
I don't know if this is considered Scholomance. So this is Scholomance solo content, but the next one that comes out might also be Scholomance solo content, because maybe we'll just say this came out in September, that comes out in October.
Right, and then there'll be one in November.
But then the new set will drop in December. I don't think we get solo content on top of a new set that same month. So maybe that's where the 9 months comes in.
Okay.
Where 9 of those months is solo content and 3 of those months are set drops. So then the one that comes out in January might be themed not on the library of Scholomance, but off something else based on the set.
So when you click into this Book of Heroes under the Scholomance title right now, it shows you all 10 portrait things.
Yeah.
So are we going to continue clicking into the Scholomance solo Book of Heroes to get to that?
Maybe they changed the name of it. It's just an aesthetic thing.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Who knows?
But who knows? We'll find out. But I do think that we will see these on months that we're not getting a set drop. So obviously we're going to get a set drop in December. We're going to get one in April, and we'll get another one in roughly August timeframe.
Correct.
So those 3 months, I don't expect to see this type of solo content.
Okay. Well, also with this week, we saw the Scholar Jaina bundle drop. Now, if you guys listened to last week's episode, we theory crafted a lot about what we thought this bundle might be worth.
Yeah.
So, Zerotio, now that it's out, what's your first impression of the Jaina bundle?
So for $9.99 US, you get 5 mage packs, and you get the Jaina portrait. I thought that was a good value.
Yeah, I agree. $5 for a portrait and $1 a piece for a pack. That's pretty good.
Yes. There is one problem I have with it, though. It's a new portrait, no new voice lines at all.
Yeah.
Which I think is a huge mark miss. I don't think there's a single. I think they all have every other portrait has new voiceover, and they literally did voiceover for the Book of Heroes Jaina solo content. So why couldn't they just record a couple extra words to, record the 6 emotes and then the one where your deck's getting low? They got the little script for it all. I mean, how much more would that have cost them when they're already getting the voiceovers being done for the solo content?
Right.
So I think unless the only thing I could think of is the voiceover parts were all done sometime last year or early this year as they were prepping for this, and then the outbreak happened and everybody's working from home, and it wasn't as easy to get the quality voiceover work done for this bundle.
That's completely possible.
That's a possibility, and I'm if that's the case and taking that into consideration, I'm willing to give them a pass on it. I just hope this isn't indicative of future. If we get like a young Malfurion or a young Garrosh, I'm hoping that they do a little better with these voiceovers on the portraits, because when I purchased it and I went and played, and checked it out, I was like, wow, this is all I'm hearing is regular Jaina. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, I like we talked about last week when I saw the price was only $9.99. I bought it immediately. It was a pretty much an
Yeah,
insta purchase for me.
me too. I mean,
Um,
I would have loved to seen a 4.99 price on it,
yeah, yeah,
but I think at that point you're getting the packs or the portraits free.
right.
So I can understand where 10.99 I or nine
9.99.
ninety
Yeah,
nine. I didn't want to see anything more than that though. I was
right,
worried
right.
it'd be a $15 purchase, and it
I'm
wasn't.
right there
So
with you. I'm right there with
I'm
you. So
happy with the price.
yeah, so like you said, came with 5 mage packs, and then you got another mage pack for completing the Book of Heroes. I still have all 6 of those packs. I'm going to open them at the end of this show, so make sure you stay tuned to the end. If you're listening on audio, make sure you check out the video on our YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers to see what comes out of those packs. Also, I do want to point out for those of you who listen and or aren't regular viewers of our video feeds, YouTube late last year instituted the ability to do timestamps, and
Yeah.
so I have been practicing and working on instituting those timestamps into our videos on YouTube. So when you watch one of our most recent episodes, if you click the show more in the description box, you will see the timestamps available for the show. So if you want to jump to a specific story that we talk about in the news, you can do that. If you want to jump to a specific game that we play during the play portion, you can do that. Or if you want to jump straight to the pack openings, you can do that. We're basically we're just trying to make the show more accessible for all of you to be able to get to and watch and listen to what you enjoy the most. So
Yeah.
thank you all.
And I personally know we have some that listen to our podcast and then later they go back to the video and fast forward to the point where we start playing the deck. And you don't have to do that anymore. You just click on the timestamp, boom, you're there.
That's right. That's right. So, all right, let's talk about next week's Forbidden Library. Week 3
Yes.
starts Tuesday, September the. Is that right? No, Wednesday, September the 23rd.
Yes, it's a Wednesday because it's lining up with Tavern Brawl.
Okay,
Because
that's
the
right.
event this week is a
Heroic
heroic
Brawliseum.
Brawliseum,
Yep.
which we've had Brawliseums, but we haven't had a heroic Brawliseum since Ngoro.
Oh wow, I didn't realize it had been that long.
Yeah, it's been like 3 years, I think. The regular Brawliseums are kind of like an arena run. You pay the 150 gold, or I think it's $1.99. Where this is the heroic Brawliseum, which is 1,000 gold or $9.99.
Yes.
And the rewards are significantly better. If you can consistently get 7 wins or more, you can actually keep doing this over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of your pro players, your high-end players, really chomp at the bit for these heroic Brawliseums because it's a way for them to get a lot of their collection without having to spend much money. And
Yeah.
also, it's great streaming content.
Yes, yes, it is. So, is it worth playing? Yeah, I think if you have a deck you feel you're confident with and that you play well, take it, jump into the Brawliseum, and see how you do. Like Zerotio said, basically, if you get 3 wins, you break even. If you get 7 wins, it's basically a free run.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun if you can be good with a deck. Again, it's not ladder based, so you're not going to be matched against like skilled opponents. You're going to be matched against other players playing this. And I will say, I encourage people to watch streamers and see what the meta is like on the Brawliseum, and maybe not play during high peak stream times because you're going to be competing against those streamer pools, and that might make your experience a little less than fun if you get matched against them. But this is a good way to kind of test your chops against the best of the best. Even if you don't break even, It's to me, it's worth the experience to at least do it once. Now I don't know. They didn't say whether they're going to do a one free run. They did the first time they did it,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if you'll get one free or not. This isn't a new player friendly uh, Tavern Brawl, unfortunately. So the Espos and the Vestidiuses. If you listen to Legend of the Innkeeper, they're probably not going to speak very highly on this one. But if you play regularly and you play at a high level, this is a great Tavern Brawl. I'm excited. I've got about 3,000 gold. Actually, I had exactly 2990. So I just gotta get 10 more gold,
Yeah.
and I'll be able to do 3 runs of this. I kind of I want to see how good I'll do.
You
I
gonna
probably
play?
won't
You gonna
straight
play
generally.
pure paladin?
I will probably not pure. There is a new version of Libram Paladin called the
Broom,
Libroom
Lee Broom.
Paladin,
Yeah.
and I'm doing well with it. I would say I'm doing well in THL, but they keep banning it. So I don't know how good I am in THL
Only
with it.
took what 10 seasons for him to catch on to you.
Yeah, it's 12 seasons, but yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is my 12th season, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's going to be fun. I'm really excited. This is an exciting week for me because I have Brawl Steam on Wednesday, Monday night, the night this comes out. That night, some content for another game Avanties and I play, Marvel Strike Force mobile game, has some content coming out. I'm excited for. So this is an exciting week for me. I'm
Yeah.
really excited for video games specifically, but especially Hearthstone.
And also this week, with the Heroic Brawliseum, if you missed your chance at getting the Book of Dalaran card back, you will have that again, as it will be available for purchase in the store this week.
Yeah, I think they're usually 500 gold or I think 299 or something like that. But they always make sure they're purchasable with in-game currency.
Uh-huh.
So they've been doing this where they're just trying to rotate some of the older card backs. They did the Cupcake card back last. They're doing this one next. So and most of the card backs are rotating in are either one-time seasonal events or one-time events that they don't plan to redo, or they're monthly card back rewards from like the very first year of Hearthstone when a lot of people weren't playing.
Yeah, I'm actually missing the very first card back, the red panda
The
card back.
Pandarian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm missing that one.
See,
So,
I am missing Thrill of Victory and Golden Celebration. That's it.
oh, nice, very nice.
I am a collector when it comes to card backs, which
Yeah,
this kind of makes me sad that there'll be less unique card backs that I have that other people don't have. But this is good for the community.
yeah.
All in all.
All right. Well, that brings us to our weekly Grandmasters coverage. So, week 5 of round robin play started this week, and in the APAC, we saw Division A surrender 4-0, Chiansu 0-4 Zerotio.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by Chansu. He did so well to stay in a good commanding spot and get into Division A. And just clarification, it's week 5 of Grandmasters. This is the second week of round robin. So most players will play 2 games per week. We're kind of in the middle of the second week, so some like EU's only gotten through half of their games for this week, and then America's still hasn't played theirs all the way out. So some of them will only record 2 games. Yeah, but I'm not surprised by Surrender, but I am surprised by Chansu because he's been playing really, really well. And once they got into round robin, his deck choices I think he started trying to next level and be unpredictable, and it's kind of bit him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Over in Division B of the APAC, though, you've got Shaxi and Tiz both 3-1, and there's a 4-way tie at the bottom with 1 win each. What do you think is going to shake out there?
We have nobody in Division B that's winless, which is great to see this early in Grandmasters, especially in Division B, where if you were in the bottom, you are being relegated. So I think APAC's going to go right down the wire because they're all showing that they're going to try to get it. Like I said, Division B has nobody with 0 wins yet.
Okay. All right. Then, as you said, over in the EU, they're only about, at the time of this recording, they're only about halfway through their play day. Mm-hmm. And in Division A, you've got RDU 3-0 and Viper 0-3.
Yeah, and there is a little update. RDU did lose his, literally just before this recording started. So he's actually 3-1, but he's still sitting on top. But Viper, he's really, I noticed, I think I mentioned this last week, Viper's play's been a little bit more erratic when it comes to his speed, and I've also been seeing him kind of shoot side glances off to the side. I don't know if he has a monitor over there or if he has other things going on in his household that's distracting him or what. I do know that I think it was Viper was sick and didn't play one of his matches, resulting in a third loss. So he might be having health issues. He is in Division A, which is a little safer, but hopefully he kind of figures it out and gets some wins under his belt.
Okay. And then over in EU Division B, the top 5 players all have 2 wins apiece. And Silvername is currently 0-3.
Yeah, Silvername's not doing good. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later, too. Silvername is in Division B. So if he ends up staying in the bottom, he will get relegated. Silvername also hasn't played in any Masters Tour, so he has no prize earnings going towards promotion. So if he gets relegated, he is not getting immediately promoted back into Grandmasters. It's impossible. And he's going to Worlds.
Yeah.
He's going to the Global Championships. I mean, he's already qualified from Season 3. So we might have another situation where somebody goes to Global Championships
after being relegated.
Could possibly win it all and still get relegated.
Yeah.
We had a couple stories like that in I think it was Season 2, where players got relegated, but they were also going to World Championships. Right. So they didn't do well in World Championships, but that's a story. That's a headline that could be there.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and then of course that brings us to the Americas, who have not started play today as of the recording of this this show. So
they're very mashed together.
They are. Yeah, Division A, the top 5, again, just like Division B and the EU, all have 2 wins apiece. And our boy Bloodyface is 0-2.
So Bloodyface is 0-2. He's in the bottom of Division A. And it's very unlikely that if you go in the bottom of Division A, you get relegated. Because you don't get auto-relegated like Division B. But you go into a 4-person tournament, and if you don't win any of your games, you'll get relegated. Mm-hmm. This has happened with Hunter Ace.
Yes, it has.
So if Bloodyface stays in the bottom, he has the threat of being relegated. And again, he's going to the Global Championships. Yep. So we could have somebody from Division A get relegated and possibly win the World Championships. Again, I think they need to apply some kind of... Okay, this is going to get a little deeper discussion, but I'm not going to try to go too deep. I know they're wanting to do a lot of stuff on prize money earnings because they're not doing as many tournaments as the 8 CT days, but maybe they need to start issuing points again and going off points and not prize money, and that might resolve a lot of this problem of players getting in top 8 for like 4 or 5 Masters tours, but still not making it into Grandmasters, right. Where one person just wins a tournament because the prize money is so much higher for first place than it is for just getting in the top 8. They're pretty much guaranteed into Grandmasters. So maybe we, instead of prize money, we go back to 15 points for a win. If you make it in the top 8, you're guaranteed like 6 points or 8 points. And then it's a point-based system to get promoted. And we can assign points to Grandmaster performances.
Okay.
So if they do qualify for global championships and they're going to world championships, they're guaranteed like say 8 points or something, so that we don't have somebody go to world championships and have the chance to win and become a world champion and then can't be in the next season.
Right. Right.
So maybe we go back to a point system instead of just straight Masters Tour prize money.
Okay. I mean that I loved the point system, but I was a product of HCT. I helped
True.
run those events, and I enjoyed the way those events were handled. But
And I helped you run those
yeah,
events, meaning I didn't do anything but sit around and talk about stuff that wasn't relevant, but I was there.
that's right.
Well,
So
and then in Division B, again, we have a bottom luck of top 4 players with 2 wins each, and Nalgadon sitting in the bottom 0-2.
yeah,
Now, Nalgadon, in my opinion, since season 1, has squeaked by relegation every season. I don't like talking negatively on players, but Nalgadon has proven, and he's been called out by players like Gallon, who's now a member of the Blizzard team,
uh-huh.
for just not practicing enough and not taking things seriously. He's made blatant misplays where they're not just misclicks or anything like that. It's like he didn't know how the card interactions worked, specifically with Zephyrus.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know there's been some weird Zephyrus situations, but you can manipulate that. And that to me comes down to a lack of practice. He's even come out and said he doesn't practice much. He has other focus, whether it be soccer or whatever it is. He doesn't practice much. And somebody of that caliber in Grandmasters needs to make it a priority to practice. And he is consistently at the bottom and then finds a way to squeak out of relegation. And I feel bad voting against somebody, but I really hope Nalgadon gets relegated and lets somebody else take that spot that wants to be there. Because I don't feel he wants to be there. He just wants the weekly paycheck.
Right. Okay.
That's just my opinion. And it's not, it has nothing to do with other than him as a player just not taking the game seriously.
Okay.
And then you have guys like ETC who
are retiring. Yeah.
He's retiring, but he's consistently trying to keep from getting relegated and trying. And he wants to be there, but he is having to choose to leave because of real life situations.
Right.
And he's still not phoning it in.
Right.
And he's already announced his retirement. So it's like, step it up, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, that brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, which is Randomonium. An encounter at the crossroads under a mana storm. Choose a class, get random cards. Each turn, your card costs are randomized. So I did this. It was a lot of fun.
What are you reading?
The Tavern Brawl?
We're talking about the Tavern Brawl, Randomonium, right?
Yeah.
Well, when I look at the description, I'm reading random.
Yes, also known as Virsica's least favorite Tavern Brawl. So
this was a what it done.
This was
I
a
high
what it
rolled
done
the win.
for me as well.
This is my least favorite Tavern Brawl. Though I like this Tavern Brawl because usually when Randomonium comes out, it means we're probably about a week or two from either another event or some kind of content coming out, because they basically we'll probably see the original encounter at the crossroads and then another random one after this, and then we'll have probably that week an announcement of some kind of thing. Now, This also leads into Brawliseum coming this week.
Right.
So it could be that this Randomonium would just put a placeholder in there. We got Brawliseum coming next week. Yeah. So I'm hoping that this means we have more content coming. We're at the end of September. October's probably going to be a little dry. And then November, we're going to get news on a
getting
new
the new set and card drops.
Again, this is normally when things start going almost radio dead because they're prepping for BlizzCon.
Right.
But we're in a new world that they're not having a BlizzCon proper, but I'm sure they're doing something in the behind the scenes to disseminate information, whether it be a virtual tour or what. They haven't said anything yet. They said that they hope to have news about something like that, but they haven't given any specifics. So I think we're going to have an interesting time come the end of October, so about a month from now, where they might end up disseminating the information of the next set where they normally would do it at BlizzCon in some unique kind of way, and I hope they do, because they have some really good, talented scripters on Team 5 now with Cora and Alec Dawson, and even Gallon to a point because he has that casting experience. So they have some really good people that know how to speak and make people excited for the game.
Yes.
And I hope they utilize them in a way that makes this announcement equal to an announcement at BlizzCon.
All right. So that brings us to this week's Deck of the Week. So this week we are taking a look at a deck you may see in some tournament play, might occasionally see on the ladder, and that is Totem Shaman.
Probably not any of that, actually. You might see it on the ladder. It's not on HS Replay. I looked at trending, and it is the most trending Shaman deck, but it's pretty low. And we're trying to make sure we show all 10 classes, and Shaman's not in a great spot right now. But this is probably the most excited people are for Shaman because of the most recent balance changes with Totem Goliath.
Right.
So hopefully, I haven't played with this deck much, but it feels good against what's being played now, and I'm excited to play it.
All right, I'll go down the deck list, and then we'll kind of talk about it a little bit. So this deck is 2 Lightning Bloom, 2 Totemic Might, 2 Totemic Surge, 2 Storm's Wrath, 2 Surging Tempest, 2 Tour Guide, 2 Evil Totems. Then you've got one of the new legendaries, Instructor Fireheart. Then you got 2 Manatide Totems, 2 Serpent Shrine Portals, 2 Totemic Reflections, 2 Splitting Axes. Then you've got the Shaman Legendary Virsica. Then you've got 2 Bloodlust, 2 Totem Goliath, and 2 Runic Carvings. So, Zerotio, obviously the point of this is totems. But how exactly, for somebody who's never played this deck, how does that work?
So your goal is to get your totems to stick. So that's by overwhelming them with lots of totems and getting them to go wide, or sticking a Totem Goliath that you can trade into, and being able to set up a good board that you can Bloodlust, or have Virsica, which acts as another Bloodlust, really, in a sense, to put on the board behind it, and then just push face with a bunch of damage. One thing to remember is with your Totemic Reflection and your Splitting Axe, Totem Goliath is a totem. So if you duplicate Totem Goliath, both of them will death rattle to put all 4 totems out for you. Okay. And your opponent might often trade into Totem Goliath to put these threatless totems on the board, not ready for a Bloodlust to follow it or a Virsica to follow it, since you have overloaded mana crystals with the Totem Goliath. So now Totem Goliath went from 2 overload to 1 overload. So you can Totem Goliath on 5 and still have enough mana the next turn to either Virsica or Bloodlust.
Okay.
And it's... I actually was like, Totem Reflection, well, let me buff my Totem Goliath and at least it'll have taunt. And then when the second one popped out, I was like, oh yeah, it's a totem.
Right.
I just forgot. I was like, oh yeah, it's a totem. And then I got the Splitting Axe the next turn, and yeah, it was pretty sick. I faced a Face Hunter who had the nuts opening where they threw out a 1-mana minion and then coined out the buff, the +1/+1 buff that put a cub into play.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to keep pace with them.
Okay.
Which is hard to do. The Instructor Fireheart I still haven't figured out. I think she's just another tool where you get cheap spells and cast them on other things. You can get another Storm's Wrath, which can be very useful, especially if you can play it that turn and generate another spell that you could possibly play. So And it can occasionally, it won't give you any of your totemic mites or totemic surges, unfortunately, because there's 0 cost.
Okay.
But those 1 to 3 costs spells can be very useful with this deck.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm excited to check this deck out and see it played. I actually got to talk to Virsica some this week. He is getting
He's
back into
back.
Hearthstone a little bit.
If you are not part of our patron only Discord, you definitely should be part of over at patreon.com/heropower. Be part of that community for as little as $1 a month. And Virsica announced in there that with the help of the community and Avanties, he has reenacted the Year of the Phoenix, and he's risen. And he did not realize how good this set was, and he seems to be enjoying it. So people are funneling in deck codes for him to try. And
let me tell you about the conversation. I went over. So Versika's been really busy with his job, and he and his wife just moved into a neighboring town. They got a brand new apartment. It's really nice. So I went over to visit with him and just talk. And we were talking about games in general, and he's talking about maybe getting back into streaming some, and we got to talking about Hearthstone, and he said, well, how is it? And I said, well, I said the new expansion is really a lot of fun. I was telling him about some of the cards. I said, and I love the fact that now they have these dual class cards, and he froze mid step, did this slow turn and was like, what do you mean dual class cards? And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, did I forget to tell you about that?
If people don't remember back in the day, Virsica has been a big proponent of dual class card. And he really liked the Mean Streets mechanic where you had cards for 3 specific classes, but he wanted something a little more robust and more cards and more pairings, and that's exactly what Scholomance gave us this set. So this is right up Versica's alley, and I'm glad he is back in. The Mad Scientist has returned, as a lot of people are saying. Maybe we can try to get him to be able to carve some time out to come on and share some of his decks on the show. We'll reach out to him.
Yeah. So, all right, gang, if you are joining us on YouTube, please stay tuned as we move into the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. And you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you do enjoy the show and you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon over at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
All right, Zerotio.
So that's funny. I was on Wild and Out, and they kind of they were closing the show, and it was like, is there anything else you want to say? And I said, well, thanks for letting me on here. And don't forget to use your hero power. And he ended the episode right then. And I was like, he was like, I was hoping you'd say that. He's a listener of our show. He's like, yeah. I was hoping, I tossed the softball and was hoping you'd catch it. I was like, yeah. Any chance I get to plug our show, I'm going to.
Oh, so that's funny.
That was fun. So I'm going to spin the wheel. I already checked my spectator is on. I had it turned off for my series matches.
Right.
With THL.
All right.
I actually won my wild one 3-1. We countered our whole opponent.
Okay. So let's see what we get. What are we looking for in our mulligans?
I really like Tour Guide because it allows you to develop a 1/1 and a totem on turn 1.
Speaking of which
we have Tour Guide. I had a game that I was able to get a good board. Totemic Surge might be useful in this opening hand because we could Tour Guide 1, Hero Power. Turn 2, we could Hero Power and then Totemic Surge. Okay. Giving us a good board.
Okay.
I think we don't need the Lightning Bloom with this hand.
Right.
So I think we can throw it back. But I like the Totemic Surge because worst case scenario, we just buff the one we put out in turn 2.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, Evil
Evil
Totem.
Totem.
Yeah.
We could actually Evil Totem on 2 and buff it.
Yeah.
I think we definitely Tour Guide Hero Power.
Okay. I'm
So
down with that.
he might have a backstab, but on turn 1, there isn't much else he's going to do.
Right.
I can't imagine him coining out Hero Power. That's a possibility. I don't expect that.
Spy Mistress.
That's good.
Okay.
Ooh, Fire
Oh.
Power. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think we Evil Totem and Totemic Surge here,
Okay.
and then we push face. Obviously, we have no other choice.
Yeah.
This allows us to Hero Power and have a Lackey next turn.
Right. So do we Totemic Surge the Searing Totem so we have our own 3/1 and just.
Well, yeah. We want to play the 0/2 first, and then Totemic Surge. It gives all of our totems.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Your totems.
We're
Gotcha.
getting +4 attack
Wow.
for 0 mana.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about the mana to effect ratio, and so if you have 2 totems out, you're getting 4 attack for 0 mana.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to have 2 totems out. He's probably going to want to trade. Okay, he's using it to draw, so he's going to trade into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. So
I don't like a Fireheart.
I don't like Fireheart here either. Do we Ethereal Lackey and see what we get?
I think we Lackey first. I would like to see a Totemic Might or Totemic Surge.
There's a Surge.
So we can Hero Power then Surge.
Hero Power Surge. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. This is just building up. Oh, and in this deck, Healing Totems are amazing because you can actually make value trades and have your.
You there? May have lost Zerotio. So our opponent hero powered and played the deck hand. So he can now charge into. So here he can clear both of our totems. He's going to use his face.
Totem in his face?
Okay.
I'm not sure about the trading. He just took a lot of damage.
He did. He really did.
I think we True Heart here.
Okay. You mean
See what we can
Fireheart?
get.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fireheart. So Fork Lightning would kill what's on the board, but it overloads us for 2. That's the only one we could play this turn. I think we Fork Lightning, though.
Okay.
We're already looking at a bad turn next turn regardless.
Yeah.
So then we play this, we'll be able to get another Discover.
What do you think about? Well, yeah. I mean, we're just trying to burn them down.
It's just damage at that point.
Yeah, I was thinking the other option would be Farsight and drawing a card that's 3 less.
We could play Farsight next turn.
Yeah.
I think you're selling me on the Farsight.
Okay.
I think you're selling me on the Farsight. Because we could play it next turn and possibly draw into a Sugartrine Portal or a Manatite Totem.
Right.
Or no. Yeah, it's any card. It's not a spell. That's fine. That's a non-developmental play.
Yeah. Now we'll be able to hit them for 3.
We could hit them for 5. Do we need to? I don't think so. I think we Farsight.
I don't think so either, yeah.
Splitting Axe. That's not bad.
1 mana Splitting Axe, and next turn we can Runic Carvings.
Yeah.
We could Runic Carvings with Overload next turn, and then Splitting Axe the turn after that.
Yeah. We could win Splitting Axe. Oh, we could Runic Carvings and trade into the Liliana.
Yeah.
That'll leave us 3 2/2s that he has to deal with.
Right. Oh,
Ooh,
oh, that's even better.
that's even better.
Now he's got 2 4s he has to deal with.
So we're doing them with Rush, right?
Yes.
Obviously, one's going to die, but now they're 2 4s.
Right.
I think we're setting it up now. We could actually Bloodlust next turn for lethal if he doesn't clear this. And he might not feel like he can clear it. He would have to use his face and the minion, or face and something. Backstab.
There's a
and minion,
backstab.
Face. He takes any face damage. I'll trade into 1. He'll use his face on the 2/2.
Okay. Oh, he's going to sap 1. Okay.
But it still has Rush.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, no. It just becomes a 2/2 again. Okay.
Do we just splitting X swing face?
Well, hang on. Let's think about this, because we drew the lightning bloom.
You
could treant, totemic reflection, splitting axe.
We'd have to use the lightning bloom to do
We
that.
would have to use the lightning bloom.
I don't hate that.
Okay.
The other option is hero power and splitting axe. It still gives us 4 minions.
Yeah, it does, but
this will make that 4.
This will make them
have
really
4
big.
4s.
Yeah, they'll be 4
Okay.
4s.
Yeah, you're right. Now, do we trade into anything?
We can't. Oh, well, you mean with the weapon?
Yeah.
I mean, we could.
Or do we just swing the face?
Just swing face. Apply pressure. Yeah, just swing face.
We got Virsica next turn. We got Bloodlust next turn.
Yeah, we could just blood.
Because this reduces how much he can do with his
just
face.
minions. Right.
So
there's 3. Secret Passage.
He's got to come up with 11 damage off Secret Passage. Ain't going to happen.
Not on 5 mana, I don't think.
No. There's no way he can win.
I think the most he could do would be 8.
Yeah, he could come up with 8, but he needs 11. There's 4. So now he needs 7 damage.
Yeah, which he doesn't have.
There's 4. Do you math, bro? Do you even math? Nope, he doesn't math.
Game over.
Yep, there you go. That's it. He didn't even try to value trade, to live a turn, or nothing.
Yes.
I don't think there wasn't a way out of it. See, this deck is it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It really is.
And we didn't even get optimal draws. We could have gotten into Totem Goliath. And that wasn't even the perfect curve.
Yeah,
I had better curves with this deck.
All right, game 1 versus the Rogue is a win. That's good.
Yep.
Virsica would be proud. I'll have to send him this deck list.
This is the deck I did. This is the opponent I did really well against. It was a Hunter.
Okay.
I think we throw this whole hand back. We don't need any of this.
Okay. We're still looking for those tour guides and evil totems.
If we were on the coin and I had Totem Goliath and Lightning Bloom, I would keep those 2.
Okay.
But we're not. So I didn't mean to keep the Totem Goliath. Oops. I was talking about it and I clicked it twice.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Lightning Bloom. So we can do it on turn 3.
Okay.
Ooh. Surging Tempest is something.
Yeah, so if you play this and if he can't get rid of it, next turn we could Lightning Bloom into Virsica.
We might do that anyways.
That's like 5 damage or something. Yeah.
If he just plays a tour guide as initiate. Okay.
You got a mana left. Are you going to burn a coin just for that?
He might. So this is where he would. Yeah, there's the adorable infestation.
Yeah. Okay, so We could.
I think
I
we
think
lightning bloom out the Vicina.
Do you
Then
more
we
than the Serpent Shrine?
Well, then we trade the Tempest, which will have 4 attack, into the Intrepid Initiate.
See, I think
Then we have a 2/6 challenging the 1/1.
Yeah, but I mean, if you clear the 4/3 with the Serpent Shrine portal, then you can still swing face with the 3/3, or you can use the 3/3 to clear the 1/1. And
okay.
And we'll have the
I don't
portal.
hate that, actually.
And we'll have the minion from the portal.
I don't hate that. Yeah, let's trade into the 1/1 because we know he has another cub.
Instructor Fireheart.
Yeah. That helps. I just hate that we floated a mana, but we have nothing to do next turn. That's fine. Trade.
Yeah, go ahead. Just clear the 1/1 and go.
Yeah. We can play Vicina next turn. Maybe we can draw an evil totem.
Okay. So swing first and then play Vicina?
Yeah. It's probably not Explosive Trap because this deck doesn't run Explosive Trap. It runs Pack Tactics, Pressure Plate, and occasionally Snake Trap, but usually Pack Tactics, Pressure Plate, or Freezing Trap. It's not Freezing Trap. So we Vicina. So that's probably Pressure Plate. So we got to be careful on the spells we cast.
Okay.
We actually could possibly use it to our advantage to pop a Totemic Goliath.
All right, so there's a second secret.
So I think we swing the Vicina into face.
Okay.
See if we get the Freezing Trap. We do. So we know that trap is either Pack Tactics or Pressure Plate.
I think we should have swung the Fireheart in to see if it was Freezing Trap. To get the Fireheart back to our hand for the battle cry.
Yeah, but then if it wasn't, then we don't have a way to clear
that's
face
true.
Stalker. It's probably Pack Tactics, but let's trade into the Fireheart to see.
Okay.
It's not. It's Pressure Plate. So we could play Totem Goliath.
Okay.
Now hear me out. We can Totem Surge. If we Totem Surge, it's going to kill that and give us all totems. But I don't think we do it now.
I don't think we do it now, yeah. We do it next turn and then Storm's Wrath.
Splitting Axe.
And Splitting Axe, yeah.
We'll have 5 mana. So we think that's Freezing Trap.
Do you Splitting Axe first to get the second totem?
Would we rather have a board full of totems we can buff with Storm Wrath, or would we rather have have one?
So
yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, you split and then you kill one, and then you'll have one Goliath and the 4 totems, right?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Yeah. The question is, do we try to swing face to see if we proc another Freezing Trap? Or do we swing into the Leok to see if we get Freezing Trap or Pack Tactics?
I think you swing into the Leok.
Because we can finish off the other Leok with Splitting Axe.
Yeah.
But this might get frozen, which is fine if it does. It is. Now we Totemic Surge, right? No,
No. Yeah.
We Totemic Surge.
Okay, to proc
and then we
Pressure
Storm
Plate.
Wrath.
Yeah.
And then I say we just swing face.
I agree.
Okay. I know it seemed really weird, but this gives us the best and strongest board.
Yeah. Next turn we'll have 6 mana, so we can Vicina again.
We can Vicina, and they'll all have
plus
extra
2 attack. Yeah.
And then we can race.
Right, because
So
we'll be able to clear the board next turn
if we want to.
Yeah.
Which we probably will. So let's Vicina.
Okay.
So this is that bug There's a bug right now. You can't click on a card that's been freezing trapped. You have to click, hold, and drag it.
Oh, okay.
And they're working on a hot fix for it. So we probably want to clear the Leok with our face.
Yep.
And then Healing Totem into the 1/2.
Yeah. And then
Wrath of Air
into the 1/3.
And they'll get healed up by the healing.
Send Huffer to face.
Yep. We have a Huffer totem. See, now he has to decide, does he want to race us, or does he feel like he has to start trading? And I would trade the healing totem if I was him.
Tour guide. Infestation.
Okay, it's fine.
Free hero power.
Get the healing one, okay. We'll be on 8 mana. We could actually
Totem Goliath and hero power, or nope, he's not.
Or he can
That's
see.
it.
This deck is awesome.
Just like that.
Right now. Right now it's awesome.
Yeah, right now this deck is really good.
Because right now you're seeing a lot of people. You're getting towards the end of the month. We're looking at the last week of the month. They're going to play a lot of other aggressive strategies, and this deck can kind of pivot between aggression and mid range. So it's just good.
Right? Yeah, yeah, it is. That was a lot of fun. I'm gonna have the only card I don't have is Virsica. I think I'll have to go.
You could probably do without Virsica because she's like just another Bloodlust. But she's not a bad craft.
Okay. Oh man, crazy! All mage cards. Who knew?
Yeah.
So let's see what else we get here.
You even mage, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, occasionally I mage. Occasionally.
You're a hover clicker. You're not a spacebar guy. You're a hover clicker, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
You have to like know the value of your present before you open it, huh?
Don't you always shake your present before you open it?
No.
Oh.
You have your family get you a kitten once, and
Mozaki, Master Duelist.
Man, if you would have gotten her on day one, I would have been excited, but she's fallen off.
Yeah.
Just because she takes so much work to make it work, but when it works, it works.
Right.
And I have exactly 3,000 gold now for Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I'm sure I'll get more. Actually, I'm halfway done with my quest of play 2 games of Battlegrounds.
Okay.
For 60 gold. So.
Yeah. So, all right. Well,
3.
There we go. That's
good pull.
Yeah, that's going to do it for this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you've not done so already. If you want more details about our patron-only Discord, head on over to patreon.com/heropower, and you too can be a member for as little as $1 a month. Until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys.